Hi, Lee Phillips with Ben Rucker, and we're casual today because we're traveling. The topic is how to deduct your meals. Ben's a former IRS special auditor, special dude, and I'm an attorney, so don't hold that against us. But Biden administration has just come out with a COVID relief thing to help restaurants, and you might as well take advantage of that. Tell us about it, Ben.
So normally, and I'm assuming that most of you don't realize this, but when you give your accountant your meal expense...
So I'm traveling.
Well, you're traveling or you're going out and you're meeting with clients, you're discussing business, right?
Okay, so I don't have to be on the road.
No, it can be a business meal.
Okay.
And you give me your expenses every yearly. You don't realize this, but when I put those on the tax form is taking that number and dividing it by half.
Because generally I can only deduct half of what I eat out or in a business. The IRS reasons you're going to have food anyway, so your sustenance doesn't get a deduction, but the extra stuff that you have to pay when you travel or you have your business meal or whatever it is, husband and wife go out and have their board meeting at the restaurant, whatever that is, you only get to deduct half of that.
Right.
So what's the new deal?
So the new deal is you can now deduct 100% of that, and that's in a way of kind of helping the restaurant industry recover from all these losses. Unfortunately, though, it's kind of a bad thing for me, though, because I've gained a lot of weight during this COVID, and now I have an incentive to keep eating out. And starting today, I was going to try and stop eating out. But I think I might have to postpone that.
So, okay, I travel a lot, and I don't keep all my receipts and all that crap. I just take what's called the per diem. And the government, if you go to, just look up per diem, and it'll give you a map and stuff, and the government publishes what you're going to eat in a specific city and how much tax credit they'll give you on the per diem. And it's great because you take the per diem amount, and I eat at the dollar menu meal on McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so I spend 15
I'm laughing because it's true.
It is true. It is true. And so I spend 15 bucks on food, but the per diem for Tampa, Florida says that it's $61 a day for food. So on my expense that I hand into my company, I just put $61 every day, and they pay me that $61. My company gets a deduction for it. It's not income to me, but I didn't actually spend $61. So I don't worry about eating at restaurants and keeping the receipts. So I just use the per diem.
Well, I'm a lot bigger than you.
Now normally the per diem, Ben, the tax dude, cuts it in half when he actually figures my tax bill for my company.
So Lee, I'm a lot bigger than you though, and I spend about $10 on each meal at least, right? So I spend $30 on meals, and the per diems, the per diems, it's usually about $39 or $40 or so, depending on where you're going.
$61 in Tampa.
Well, let's say it's $40 where I go. I'm really only getting a deduction of $20. So I think what you're getting at is these next 2 years. This will be in effect until the end of 2022. So when you're traveling, rather than taking the per diem, it might make more sense the next 2 years to actually keep your receipts and go the actual cost method.
Well,
right?
Don't I just get all of the per diem? You normally cut it in half.
Yeah, I do, and that's still cut in half because it has to be at a restaurant, and per diem is not assuming you're eating at a restaurant every time. So
I can't just take the per diem this year. It's probably going to be advantageous for me. And I may actually start eating, because if I take the full restaurant deduction and yet I'm only getting half the per diem, I may get a better tax deduction. It might be worth my eating more.
But you're going to McDonald's. That's not a restaurant, right?
No, it's a restaurant. A restaurant is actually defined as a place that prepares food for immediate consumption. Grocery store is not a restaurant. Even the deli in the Kroger's isn't a restaurant, even though that's prepared food that you take out and eat.
Right.
So it has to be an establishment that is generally designed for immediate takeout, eat, or drink.
So even like if you order on Uber Eats and you're not eating it at the actual restaurant, it still qualifies for that.
That's correct.
And it has to be a business meal. Personal meals are still not deductible at all. But anyways, there's a lot more tax changes taking place that I think we're going to cover.
We're going to cover a lot of stuff. In fact, we're having a tax summit here. If you're interested in the tax summit, where Ben and I spend 4 hours and go through stuff for you, check out the link below, and that'll take you over to the tax summit. Another thing that we have, which is free, is 10 tax tips. So check out our 10 tax tips and get that. And of course, it's not bad to get a little free tax advice at any time.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other things? Give me a bait.
Well,
come on, bait me.
I think what we should do, Lee, is we have an advanced tax tactics book, right?
Yeah.
Well, we should select a new subscriber or someone who comments on this video, and we'll randomly select them. Sarai will have a fun time entering those names in, and I think we should mail them our advanced tax tactics book. Is that a good idea? It's kind of like a raffle, no?
Let's invite them to the next tax summit.
All right, we'll do that. So last year we did...
And by the way, that's a $999 value if you sign up on the internet.
And last year we did a year-end tax summit where we do a year-end tax planning, and we offer one-on-ones as well. That had such a big success rate, we decided we're going to do mid-year and year-end every year.
So we're doing that now. And should we give them a deal on the $999?
Well, you know I'm going to always say yes to deals, right?
Yeah, you're a wheeler dealer. Check out the website, link below. I guess there's 2 links, one for Tax Summit and one for the 10 tax tips. And
let's do this, Lee.
Just go to the website and we'll give you a deal.
No. Let's not do that. We'll send a coupon code out to anyone that asks for it on this video. Comments, ask for the code, and we'll send it to you.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah, we don't want to give this deal to anybody that goes to our website.
That is true.
So
that's a good point. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, and we will see you next time.